Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today, we'll take you inside one of the most talked about stories in Turkish show business, a story where fiction blurred into reality, and where emotions went far beyond the camera lens. It's about Yagmur Yüksel and Barış Baktaş, whose connection on set became something no script could control. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and click the join button below to support our channel. Now, let's get started. A chemistry that couldn't be ignored. When Yagmur Yüksel and Barış Baktaş were cast together in the hit TV drama Kimse Sekleri, the production team knew they had found the perfect duo. But even they couldn't predict the intensity that would come from pairing these two talents. From the first table read, there was something magnetic between them. Their lines flowed naturally, their timing was flawless, and their scenes felt too real to be just acting. Viewers immediately noticed. Social media was flooded with comments like, "Are they actually in love?" and "Their eyes tell more than the script does." Their characters' complicated relationship on screen, torn between love, loyalty, and betrayal, seemed to echo something deeper. The more time they spent together, the more undeniable their connection became. When fiction crossed into reality. Spending long hours on set, rehearsing intense emotional scenes, often blurs the line between role and reality. And for Yagmur, that line eventually disappeared. Sources close to the production revealed that Yagmur began developing real feelings for her co-star. She admired Barış's discipline, his quiet confidence, and his ability to make everyone around him feel safe. At first, she tried to convince herself that it was just part of the job, that what she felt existed only within the boundaries of the script. But as filming went on, it became impossible to ignore. The emotions she portrayed in front of the camera were no longer an act. What audiences saw in her eyes, that trembling sincerity, was real. The unspoken truth. However, behind the scenes, there was a painful truth that couldn't be ignored: Barış Baktaş was already married. Those who worked on the set say Yagmur was devastated when she fully realized the depth of her feelings and the reality of his life. She was caught between her heart and her conscience, between the woman she was and the professional she wanted to remain. Barış, on the other hand, tried to keep his distance. He respected his marriage and avoided any behavior that could be misunderstood. Yet, people around him noticed the subtle changes. He smiled more when Yagmur was nearby, lingered after takes, and sometimes lost focus during rehearsals. They never spoke openly about what they felt, but everyone sensed it. Their silence said more than any confession could. Whispers around the set. Inevitably, the rumors began. Crew members whispered about their unspoken connection. Some believed that a real relationship had started in secret, others said it was simply emotional confusion born from too many hours of shared vulnerability. Neither confirmed anything. But the tension grew. Between takes, they avoided eye contact, as if afraid that one glance could expose everything. Directors tried to maintain professionalism, but even they admitted that the emotional energy between them gave the show its authenticity. Fans loved it. The tabloids loved it even more. But for Yagmur and Barış, it became a silent torment. The breaking point. The situation reached a turning point during the shooting of a particularly emotional scene, one where their characters had to confess their love for each other. According to insiders, after the cameras stopped rolling, Yagmur broke down in tears. It wasn't part of the script. Barış reportedly comforted her, placing a hand on her shoulder, whispering something that made her cry even harder. That moment, witnessed by a few stunned crew members, confirmed what many had suspected: the emotions between them were painfully real. After that day, things changed. They began keeping their distance, speaking only when necessary. The atmosphere on set grew heavy, but their performances became even more powerful. It was as if their unfulfilled feelings fed the story itself. The storm beyond the set. When news of their possible closeness reached the tabloids, chaos followed. Headlines speculated about a secret affair. Paparazzi began following them everywhere. Yagmur's name, once associated purely with talent, became entangled with scandal. Barış, already a public figure with a family, faced even greater pressure. His wife reportedly confronted him after seeing tabloid photos taken outside the studio. Insiders say he denied any betrayal but admitted that the situation had gone too far. For Yagmur, it was unbearable. She reportedly took a short break from work, seeking time to gather herself. Friends say she struggled between guilt and heartbreak, torn by feelings she never wanted to have. A quiet distance. Weeks later, when Kansasekleri wrapped its season finale, the two actors parted ways. No statements were made. No joint photos appeared on social media. It was as if they had silently agreed to erase the traces of what had happened. However, silence does not erase emotion. During an interview months later, Yagmur was asked whether it was difficult to separate fiction from reality. Her answer was brief but telling. Sometimes a scene stays with you longer than it should. Barış, too, gave a similar comment in another interview. Actors live many lives. Some roles are easier to leave behind than others. The words were polite, but their eyes said the rest. Healing and reflection. Over time, Yagmur learned to redirect her pain into art. She threw herself into new projects, determined to be recognized for her talent, not her heartbreak. Friends say she found solace in travel, spending time by the sea and avoiding public events. Barış, meanwhile, chose silence. He focused on his marriage and career, rarely giving interviews. Insiders claim he made significant efforts to repair his personal life, spending more time with family and stepping back from gossip. Still, fans continued to connect their names. Every new project announcement sparked the same question: will Yagmur and Barış ever share the screen again? So far, the answer remains no. But in the unpredictable world of entertainment, nothing stays fixed forever. What this story teaches. The story of Yagmur Yüksel and Barış Baktaş is not simply one of romance, it's a reflection of how art can mirror emotion so closely that it hurts. It's about how the heart doesn't always respect boundaries, and how love can appear in the most inconvenient moments. They never publicly confirmed any relationship, and perhaps they never will. But every viewer who watched their performances could feel it, that fragile, electric connection that cannot be faked. In the end, maybe their greatest act of love was restraint, choosing silence over scandal, professionalism over chaos, dignity over impulse. Closing. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click the join button below to support us. Every week, we bring you stories from behind the lights, where fame meets feeling, and where the truth is often more dramatic than fiction. Until next time, take care and goodbye.